This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of August 3rd, 2022. I'm Gary Dick. A professor of practice in the School of Aviation and Transportation Technology at Purdue University says the biggest obstacle to addressing the airline staffing shortage in the U.S. is cost. Mike Suckhouse says the expense of getting someone prepared for a career in the industry makes it challenging for airlines to keep up with retirements, which have accelerated during the pandemic.
Current shortage is a combination of socioeconomic factors that have taken place over the last 2 decades, probably starting with 9/11, and then we moved into global recession, then we've had pandemics, we've had MERS, we've had SARS, we've had swine flu, we've had avian flu, we've got, now COVID.
University of Chicago Medicine will today break ground on an $86 million facility in Crown Point. The 130,000 square foot multi-specialty outpatient center and micro hospital expected to bring 150 clinical and non-clinical jobs to Northwest Indiana. The co-founder of eBash Video Game Center in Terre Haute announced Monday the venue has agreed to acquire the assets of local board and card game store Gam3. While financial terms of the deal are not being disclosed, Zach Johnson says the acquisition is part of his company's growth in the Haute City Center Mall. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media delivers business news covering central Indiana and the entire state. The Indianapolis Business Journal and Inside Indiana Business are now part of the same family. Look to the IBJ for in-depth coverage of central Indiana's business community and tap into Inside Indiana Business for stories that extend throughout Indiana. 2 resources, unlimited business insights that help you stay informed and get ahead. Learn more at ibj.com and InsideIndianaBusiness.com.
Indianapolis-based Kite Realty Group Trust says it expects to shore up financing for its proposed $550 million hotel and convention center expansion project by the end of this year. Here's Alex Brown.
The company said through a spokesman it remains committed to the project at Pan Am Plaza in downtown Indianapolis, which it has been involved with since 2018. The development calls for a $120 million expansion of the Indiana Convention Center, along with an upscale 40-story, 800-room hotel with the Signia by Hilton flag, both of which are expected to be completed by early 2026. Kite and Capital Improvement Board of Marion County officials said while current market conditions for major real estate projects have been challenging, they're on track to meet a deadline to finish all pre-construction and financing work by the end of 2022. There are no plans to alter the development's scope from the current plans last updated in 2020, which include a later phase that would add a 600-room hotel adjacent to the Signia. Some underground construction work could begin as early as this fall, following the completion of the NBA 2K League's season-long stint at Pan Am Pavilion, which will be demolished as part of the convention center expansion plan. However, a date for a ceremonial groundbreaking has not been set. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Rolls-Royce Corporation in Indianapolis has been awarded an $850 million contract from the U.S. Department of Defense. The contract calls for engine repair work for aircraft in support of the U.S. Marine Corps and government of Kuwait. Columbus-based Cummins is reporting second quarter net income of $702 million compared to $600 million during the same period last year. New CEO Jennifer Rumsey says demand for the company's products remains strong across most of its key markets and regions, apart from China. Political analyst Abdul Hakim Shabazz is my guest this week on the Business and Beyond podcast presented by PNC. It's a weekly conversation with achievers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond, and you can download it at Apple or wherever you find your podcasts. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.